Welcome to MarcusG.tv. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano.
And Jamie.
And we are using a new camera today, so we can actually see ourselves.
I know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah. For years I've been shooting with this little camera, which has been great, by the way. It's been a really good camera. Keep it in my pocket and take it. Serve the purpose. We have a nice new Sony with remote control, and we can see ourselves 4K, even though we're not really using the 4K capabilities for what we're doing here.
Right.
But I believe we're going to work into it. So the camera's awesome. So we can see ourselves now, and the cool thing is we can zoom in, zoom out, take photos.
It's great.
So they got night vision on it.
It's fabulous.
What are we going to talk about today?
We're talking about Yelp, right?
Yelp.
We're talking about Yelp.
Yelp.
Being restaurant owners.
Yelp is, I think, cultured
the complaining site. They've grown so massively and big, but that's where people go. People go there to complain rather than putting positive things on there.
I mean, we do get positive.
We do, but I'm just saying,
yeah.
I think it's much more of a...
The drama. People like to listen.
Right.
First of all, okay, let's kind of
reverse and go back.
Well, let's kind of not start over, but South Park just came up with their episode.
Which we just watched. Well,
we just watched. We don't watch South Park,
yeah.
But we saw it all over Facebook and the internet. So we clicked on it. We watched a couple of the links. They're hilarious.
Hilarious.
Distasteful, but hilarious.
Not my cup of tea. I've never watched him before, so.
That stuff does not happen in any restaurants I've ever worked at.
Right.
Okay, it does not happen. So, but here's the thing with Yelp. Yelp has a system where our listing on Yelp, if you type in Ellenville restaurants, Aroma Thyme, whatever, and you pull up Aroma Thyme here, right, above it is an ad for one or two restaurants, or one restaurant is advertised above us. So Yelp now wants to say, well, if your listing's free, if you want to pay us $300 or $350 a month, sign a contract.
We'll advertise for you.
We'll not only take your listing and put it on top of somebody else's, but now that one that's on top of yours, we'll remove it. So they get you on a double-edged sword.
So they're trying to make money.
They're trying to make money. It's a double-edged sword they're working. So not only are they placing ads for you, but they're removing the ads that they've put on top of yours. So literally, it's like somebody another restaurant standing in front of our restaurant on the sidewalk,
right, with
a sign saying Bobby's Fried Chicken down the road, 20% off today, as people are walking in our front door. And I wouldn't allow that on our sidewalk. I'd be like, go down the street and advertise your own restaurant. But see, Yelp figured that out, that not many people wanted to actually advertise with Yelp, so they kind of figured that, well, we'll take those ads off. Not only do you get benefit of advertising in the video and this and that.
Slow down. That I did not understand.
So Yelp, when you advertise with Yelp, they allow you to put a video on.
Right.
They say, oh, we'll come make a video, a professional video, this and that, and we'll put that on your page. So South Park poked fun at Yelp. They made an episode and really poked fun at them. Yelp got offended, and Yelp is suing them for $10 million. Now, here's the funny thing. Yelp can encourage people to go on and totally bash restaurants, right? Now, here's the thing. I've mentioned this many times to Yelp. I said, listen, here's my biggest problem with your system. You let people state facts on reviews. I can disprove those facts, as we have video cameras in our restaurant. If somebody says they waited 45 minutes for a meal, I can actually provide you evidence that they only waited 30 minutes, 29 minutes, 36 minutes. I said, I have that evidence, but never once have you allowed me to present my evidence to you. We have everything on surveillance at the restaurant that happens, and when somebody says that specific, that is a lie.
Right.
You can keep your reviews in an opinion like, oh, our food took too long, as opposed to our food took 45 minutes. Two different things. So Yelp continues to allow those. As soon as people get specific, I flag it, and 9 out of 10 times Yelp does nothing about it. And there's things that I can actually disprove there. And there's attorneys that say, you can now take these people to court that are writing these reviews, because when they list facts that are not factual, that's defamation. It's right. But now Yelp.
So Yelp is now taking
the opposite road. Now Yelp is like on our side as a consumer. They're upset that a major TV show.
Meantime, they're just poking fun, and that's what South Park does.
That's what South Park does.
Right? They do that to so many different people, to famous people, and all that kind of stuff.
So Yelp slapped South Park with a $10 million suit. Here is here's South Park's response. Oh, you want to read their response?
We've taken a hard look at the information presented to us, and after reviewing it, we have given Yelp and their lawsuit only 1 star. Their lawyers delivered us legal documents in a very unprofessional manner, not bothering to smile or even a quick handshake. The writing on the envelope was barely legible and in 2 different colors. It is our personal opinion that Yelp could do a much better job by not suing us for $10 million. South Park creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker. I like that review. That's pretty funny.
Right.
Maybe we should start a review Yelp.
I've always
I
said
think that's great.
I've always said reviewers need to be reviewed.
Yeah, why
So
not?
so when somebody comes here that's just totally outlandish and you know that they're wrong, we should be able to flag that where other restaurants can say that's that guest who's a total a-hole, who's an idiot, who wants something for free. We need to be able to flag those people.
You know, when it comes to reviews, it's all a personal opinion.
It's all it is.
It has nothing to do with anything else. There's always 2 sides to every story.
There's always 2
sides.
sides.
And then there's what really happens. So it's what you see, what you don't see, what somebody else sees, and then really what happened. And so when people are reviewing, it's an opinion. It's totally an opinion. You might love something, and your partner doesn't love anything.
So here's the biggest thing. We know this when people come into the restaurant. When they have to wait for a meal, any length of time, when their blood sugar's off.
Right.
Because people go to a restaurant because they're hungry, right? They don't go to a restaurant because they're not hungry. So you go hungry. When your blood sugar's off, you're cranky, right?
Right, of
I've always
course.
said to our kids, what's wrong with your blood sugar? You must be cranky. Get something to eat. We've taught our kids that from day one. So there's no rationalizing with somebody who's hungry and miserable. So if a consumer were to write a review before their meal got out,
Right.
it'd be much worse than after the meal got out, right? Because once they eat, they're satisfied. So our rule at the restaurant is don't try to rationalize, don't even try to present a case to anybody who's hungry and upset that the food might be taking too long. Get something to eat, send them something out, get them calm, and then after the fact that they've eaten their dinner, and hopefully everything's great, then their dinner, then buy them dessert.
Right.
Then do something.
I gotta tell you, the amount of times that we go out to eat and the amount of time that we wait for our food to come out, nothing is ever done for us. Ever.
Nothing's ever done for us. Nothing's ever done.
Never. And we try to take that approach of making sure that everybody's happy when they walk out the door.
And here's the one big problem is, you ask people, how was everything? How was your chicken? How was your
say it was
pasta?
great.
Oh, great. And then all of a sudden the review pops up. This, and this.
It wasn't good.
The owner was snooty.
Right.
The wait staff had an addict. This and that. It's like, why didn't you tell us when you were here?
Or the chicken was too salty, or whatever it might be. Tell us while you're here. And I think every consumer that goes out to eat should do that, rather than going and posting a review like on Yelp. You know.
Here's what we always do. If I have a really bad time, I'll call the restaurant manager.
Or send an email.
Restaurant manager, the owner, the following day and say, hey, I want you to know that this was my experience. And I got to tell you, most times they're receptive. Although that one time, remember that grilled vegetable plate that we got out in the Newburgh waterfront? It was so bad because it said grilled vegetables.
And they were broiled, weren't they?
They were under a salamander, under a broiler, and it's impossible to put carrots that are that big onto a grill without them falling. All the vegetables were small vegetables, green beans, and I said, "There's no way those vegetables could have even gone on a grill. They would have fallen through the grill plates." And the guy goes, "Well, that's how we do it here. And if you don't like it," I'm like, "I'm telling you, I didn't like it. It was basically
they did nothing.
They did nothing. It was basically a plate of sautéed vegetables." He goes, "Well, there are sautéed vegetables that we broil." I said, but that's not grilled vegetables. He goes, well, that's what we do. So they basically took the sautéed vegetables, the small sautéed vegetables, and stuck the whole thing under a broiler. Or a salamander, broiler or salamander, and it got burnt on the outside, right?
Yeah.
And it was just so unenjoyable. I didn't eat it. The waitstaff didn't even ask me if it was okay, because if they would have asked me, I would have said, you know what?
And that same meal, my tuna was overcooked.
Right.
And we did say something, and they didn't even offer.
So after they didn't offer, after we called the manager the next day, and I specifically said, I'd like to speak to the owner, you know, after all that, they did nothing. And they basically said, well, that's how we do it here. And if you don't like it, too bad. We still didn't write a review.
We didn't.
We just didn't go back.
We don't go back.
That's the thing. We don't go back. People ask us all the time, oh, go meet us on the waterfront at this. We're like, sorry, we won't go there. And here's what our story is. We won't go there because we've had 2 really bad meals there. The owner doesn't care. The manager doesn't care. And the manager argued with us. Bottom line. So I think it's ironic that Yelp is in the opposite shoes now,
Yeah, I think that's
slapping
pretty
a
funny.
lawsuit, because a lot of lawsuits get thrown onto Yelp, and and they have a really unique way, or they position themselves to saying, oh, this is only an opinion site and this and that. But if you didn't filter the reviews, I think it would be much more legitimate.
Or get people to advertise with you. It's almost like they're getting a kickback from the businesses to get a higher and better review and a better position.
And a lot of
their
times
place.
when the Yelp salespeople call, they go, oh, I'll help you with your Yelp page. I'll help you with your reviews.
And what did you say to the last person? You said, well, let me help you. Let me tell you what's wrong with Yelp.
They go, we'll help you with your Yelp page. I said, I know what's wrong with my Yelp page. This lady came in here last week pushing
Her son in her wheelchair. They actually came back this week, by the way.
Excellent. We gave them a fantastic time.
She reviewed us on her own. We never said anything.
Never said go review us. She reviewed us on her own, wrote a great review.
And it got filtered, and it won't
be seen. I said, that's what's wrong with my Yelp page. This is a legit. They go, well, we don't really know the Yelp reviewers. I said, but we do, because they're in our restaurant, and they're our customers, they're our guests, so we know them. So who are you to say that you don't know if a reviewer is honest or not?
But you know what? If you left it up to the restaurant owners, they'd only put positive reviews out there.
That's true.
And so you can't leave it up to just the restaurant owners.
TripAdvisor, everything shows.
Yeah.
Everything shows in TripAdvisor.
I think you should be able to see everything, whether it's good or bad. People who go onto these sites, Yelp and TripAdvisor, are looking at the majority. If the majority is positive, they're going to give you a shot.
People can read through the bad reviews.
Of course they can.
And when somebody's just so outlandish, and like that guy who
Crazy,
screamed F you on Thanksgiving Day with his 90-year-old mom.
Yeah.
Just so uncalled for, right? So, Yelp. Who saw South Park?
Go watch it, because it's funny.
Who is a Yelper? Are you a Yelper? The only reason I'm a Yelper is because it's on the iPhone. And I tell Yelp every time I said, they keep talking about market penetration.
I've never Yelped.
You've never written a review.
No.
So I check in on Yelp, and I know how important Yelp is for the business, so I try to get a lot of friends on Yelp, and I try to be active in the Yelp circle. But I gotta tell you, the only reason other than that is because it's on my phone. So when I say, hey, find me a vegetarian restaurant, find me a juice bar, Yelp pops up, and it goes through the Yelp search. That's the main reason why they have.
I think we always give restaurants a shot if it sounds interesting and good, whether they have good or bad reviews, because it's all opinionated.
So what we do for restaurant suggestions when we travel, we'll be in New Orleans next week, we go to a health food store first thing. We go to a Whole Foods, we go to a health food store, and we start talking to the staff and say, where do you go eat? Are you into health? Where do you go eat? Where can I get a good vegetarian meal? Where can I get a good healthy meal? And we take recommendations, because those recommendations, I think, are much more geared to what we're looking for. So, I mean, you can still go into a Whole Foods and go to the meat section, right? If you're a carnivore, and go to the beef section and say, hey, where's there some good steakhouses in the area, right? And go to a butcher shop and say, hey, where's the steakhouses in the area? Or even just not even go there, but just call them.
Yes.
So Yelp's in a different role now.
I think it's
ridiculous. I'm Chef Marcus Guiliano.
And Jamie.
Check out chefonamission.com. Check out Aroma Thyme Bistro, our green certified restaurant, our new restaurant, Tony and Nick's Italian. If you're coming into the Hudson Valley, into Ellenville, check us out. aromatymebistro.com or tonyandnicksitalian.com.
Have a great day.